Good morning. It's Saturday morning. It's about 10:15 and I'm at work today. I took some little video clips yesterday of when I had some spare time throughout my work day yesterday. I thought it was time to learn how to crochet. I have been wanting to do this for so long, and I thought, you know, if you don't try to make a little bit of time, I think I was just putting it off because I was worried that it was going to be, you know how you build things up in your mind, it's going to be too hard, even though I knew I could figure it out. It's just that I thought it would be too hard, that I wouldn't be able to do it, or that I would like it too much and then not be able to think about anything else and become a little bit obsessed with it. So anyways, let me pop in the sequence of little clips that I did, and then I'll show you what I managed to do. Got my crochet hooks, my DK weight yarn, and because I lost the ball band, I did a quick search, and it says that for DK weight I can use a 4mm hook, which that's what this is. Okay, so I've gone into YouTube and I found this video by Hooked by Robin, and it had a lot of good feedback in the comment section from people being able to follow it clearly. So I think this is where I'm going to start, and also it's got almost 2 million views on it. So we're going to start here. Hooked by Robin, how to crochet a granny square for absolute beginners. All right, here we go. And right away, Robin says, if you're just starting out, she advises maybe using slightly fatter yarn, and she says that in her lovely accent. So I'm off to find, I've got lots of yarn here. I'm going to go find a fatter yarn. I found some absolutely beautiful leftover worsted weight from a shawl that I made maybe 4 or 5 years ago. This looks pretty nice and pretty fat. So let's see. The pink color here, this was a Madeline Tosh in the Posy colorway, Tosh Vintage. And let's see if we can find hook information on here. Crochet 12 to 17 inches for what does it say? Does it give you a hook? 4.5 to 5.5 millimeters. Ah, yes. Okay, US 7 to 19. That must be a mistake. 7 to 9, or 4.5 to 5.5 millimeters. Okay, so 4.5 to 5.5 millimeters. So I need to go up. I need a bigger hook. All right, let's get a bigger hook. Happy medium. I found the 5mm hook. So that's what I'll use. And look at that, it matches my yarn. So we're going to start with the Posy, the pink color, because it's my favorite. And let's see if we can follow along. So I think I needed to go back a little bit simpler to learn how to do a slip knot properly. I've never done one in knitting. I know they're very simple, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything right, and I might as well learn right from the beginning the chain stitch as well. So crochet, slip knot, and chain for absolute beginners. Again, Hooked by Robin. So let's give this a go. Well, I have to say, look at that. Success. That was a really, really good tutorial. Like bang on. Bang on. Look at that. I did it. I did it. Slip knot. I don't know why I've never been able to learn a slip knot before. I guess I've never really tried hard enough. But I did it. Okay, let's do chain. Chain is next. Good job, Robin. Yes. Look it. I at my first chain. I am ridiculously pleased with myself. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so fun. I could make a million of those. That was really fun. All right, now let's take this out and let's go and figure out Granny Square next. Okay, so look, I have my first attempt. Can see my tension's a little off. Right side's a little looser than the left. But all the components I think are there. So just a little bit of practice. It's going to be very addictive, I can already tell. It was really fun. Great tutorials, I have to say. Yeah, she's very easy to follow. I had to pause it, of course, a number of times and repeat stuff, but yeah, pretty chuffed. Okay, so I'm going to rip this out and I'm going to do it a few more times. Oh, well, look what I did. I did it. I did it. And now Robin says that I can add another color. So, like, I feel like the smartest person in the world. Okay, now I'm going to add in some of that beautiful gray. Let's see what we can do. So not too bad for a first attempt, I have to say. It was a lot of fun. And, forgive my loose ends, but look, I made a square. I made a granny square. I'm pretty pleased with myself. I have to admit, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And I definitely I stopped because I was starting to feel it in my wrist, my hand, and my lower arm. And I'm trying really hard to listen to what my body's telling me and stop before things start to hurt. So I sent my friend Carrie a picture and I said, what do you think about my gauge? Because I feel like maybe my holes are a little bit too big. So I did this with a 5mm hook, and the yarn that I'm using you will have seen in the previous videos, but for me that was yesterday. So to remind myself, it was it's a worsted weight. So it's a worsted weight yarn and I used a 5mm hook. So Carrie suggested that I try it again with a 4mm hook and see if I like the tension better. So I'm not gonna undo this one because I want to compare. I also know that, you know, when you're first starting out, your tension's going to be a lot different than when you're comfortable with a skill. So I fully expect that over time, my tension will probably change as well as I become comfortable with doing it. One thing I'm struggling with a little bit is how to tension the yarn. So the video that I watched, the Hooked by Robin video, she was talking about, you know, don't worry about how you hold your yarn, don't worry about how you tension it, just, you know, worry about the steps. But because I have so much knitting experience, to have the yarn loose is uncomfortable, but also I'm an English knitter, sorry. There's English and then there's continental. I throw. Continental knitting with the left hand, they pick, right? So I throw my yarn. That's what you call it. I throw my yarn when I knit. So I'm very used to yarn management with my right hand. I am not so good. I'm not used to managing yarn with my left hand. I tried some 2-strand knitting using both hands, but that was a long time ago and I only did it for a couple of days. I don't have a lot of experience doing it. So tensioning yarn with my left hand is feeling a little uncomfortable. So if you have done this and you've had similar things and you taught yourself how to tension your yarn correctly, leave me a comment if you've got any advice about that. So currently what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wrap it around my pinky and then hook it around my index finger so that it's there to easily be on the right side of my finger to do the yarn over with the crochet, if that makes sense. It's I guess I could try to show you when I turn the camera around. I will try to take a video of what I'm attempting to do, and then any advice would be appreciated. So far, if you're like me and you're just starting a crochet journey, 10 out of 10 for Hooked by Robin. I've been enjoying her videos, her tutorials very much. And again, if there was a way that you learned, a particular YouTuber that you also found very helpful, leave me a comment below, because we're all in this together, those of you who are learning with me. But it's fun, isn't it? It's a lot of fun, but definitely addictive. I can tell. I don't want to overdo it, because I have a bad habit of doing that, so I'm trying to really be careful. All right, let's switch hooks. Let's find the 4mm hook. These are, I brought these into the shop a while ago because I knew that if I wanted to learn how to crochet, having it readily available in my space was going to be important. So these are the little, they're little cases that I believe they're done by Annie's Crafts. I'm not sure. They were sold through my distributor here in Canada, and they have a whole set of hooks, all different sizes, and all the sizes have different color rubberized grips. So I believe they're clover hooks. And then it also came with, you know, darning needles inside a little tube case. And then a little packet of, and I haven't taken these out of the packet because I knew I would lose them if they were just loose in the thing. But I'd really like to make a handmade tiny little pouch for them. They're just locking stitch markers. And I know, I believe, that's not going to focus, is it? Stitch markers for crochet are different than stitch markers for knitting. Oh, crinkle, crinkle. So these ones, apologize for the crinkling. Now I've taken them out. I'm going to have to find a little tin or something for them. They're little, they look like diaper pins to me. See that? Yeah. So they're just little locking stitch markers. And I'm assuming that is because you have to lock it around the stitch, because there's no, your stitches aren't going to lock it in place like a round of knitting would, or a line of knitting. It's different. Okay, so there's attempt one. Attempt one. Now let's take a few minutes and do attempt two. Let's see what a 4mm hook will do. I found one of those little mesh gift bags, and can never have enough emergency chapsticks. So there we go. That will all fit nicely into my little crochet case. Look at me being all organized. Okay, good. I found my 4mm. Here we go. Let's give it a go. Okay, this is how I've been tensioning my yarn. Let's see. It's hard to do this with one hand. So wrapping it around my pinky finger and then grabbing it like that with my index finger so it's holding it away. But what happens is that my index finger ends up, you know, sticking up way up here the whole time. And it's, I worry that that's gonna, you know, become quite uncomfortable. So, thoughts. Okay, it's a little later in the day, and I sort of picked my way. I finished another square, and I think you'll agree that the tension looks pretty good. I think my side double crochets are definitely tighter than my corners, so it is kind of pulling in just a little bit if I'm being super picky. This side in particular, it's a little bit tighter. Those double crochets aren't sitting up quite as tall as the other ones. So tension is definitely something that I need to be aware of. So here's the 4mm hook. Here's the 5mm hook. I know it's a little easier to see this one with the pink yarn, but maybe I'll hold it up against my sweater. There, you can definitely see one of them's smaller and a little wonkier. So as I went smaller, I probably just started pulling a little bit more. Definitely faster with the second one than the first one. And I didn't need to watch the tutorial video again. I remembered how to do everything all by myself. So now I was planning on, I had this souvenir yarn from a trip with my family. Nicholas was 5 or 6 years old, so it's been sitting around for a while. I was going to make a crochet square pillow, but I think that it's too holey for my liking for what would be a pillow finish. I think it needs to be a little bit more solid crochet, and I know that there are plenty of, I could just do like a corner to corner style pattern. I know there's plenty of those, like a corner to corner style. I know I've seen Crazy Sock Lady doing blankets, bed size blankets. Surely I could do a corner to corner style, something with a stitch that would be very simple, just back and forth, and that would provide a much more solid pillow, right? More practice. So I'm off to find a different stitch pattern. However, no more time today for crochet. So back to work I go. But I'm pretty pleased. I think my Learn to Crochet journey is well underway. So this was really fun. If you've ever considered learning how to crochet, or it's on your bucket list of crafty things to learn, I highly recommend. 10 out of 10. It was really fun, and I will definitely be doing more. So have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you next week. Take care.